Hey everybody, so this is a continuation of education on horse's eye and changing of the eye, and some little fun exercises that we can do to kind of help them build trust and confidence in those blind spots. I only do this after you've watched some of the other videos of them getting used to that changing from left eye to right eye in the front and behind. So in the last video you see that's in the link below, you'll notice that we were working with the tarp and got her used to that, put it on her stirrups, put it on her back, put it on her tail, and now I just want to be able to ask her to move without any concern at all. And I'm doing this because you might have a situation where something falls off, a jacket falls off your horse. You might be going through some brush and the brush attaches to them. Real life situation has happened. So I want to know that she's not worried about that tarp at all, that it just happens to be an extension of her body. So if I ask her to stop now, versus the video yesterday, you can see she's getting more comfortable with this. Each horse is gonna be different. She's a super highly sensitive horse, so when it takes the time, I've worked on this for probably about, I don't know, half hour with her. So some horses might take longer, some might make less time, but remember, it's the foundation of everything we're doing to get to this point, so then it makes it easier. I have a lot of people ask me, well, I've got an issue with my horse. For example, she had a horrible issue on cross ties, couldn't stand on cross ties. If you left her for 2 seconds, she would rear up, she would be unhappy. I didn't work on a lot of stuff in the barn. I worked on all this stuff, and now cross ties are not an issue for her. She can stand quietly for as long as you need her to. She's happy. If she's by herself, it doesn't matter. So those are the things that we want to make sure the foundation is built. If I can get one thing across in this, if the foundation is built properly, the rest of the stuff comes easy. Whether it's jumping, whether it's trail riding, no matter what it is, confidence in the horse feeling safe with us, confident within themselves, will make everything easier in training your horse. So I'm going to go off and ask her to do some lateral work now to the right. Good. I don't want her to be bothered by that, so I'm really happy with that. So she doesn't seem to be too bugged by it. I'll ask her to go into the trot. I want to ask as light as possible. Get myself. Always make sure you get yourself situated with your ropes and everything, so it's life is easier for you. Trot. I want to make sure that I don't see a difference in the head carriage, that she's relaxed through her back. Nothing's really bothering her. And then I'm going to ask her to come back down to a walk. Change directions. Pick up the trot. Good, and back to the walk. If she's pretty happy with that, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to get on her. That's the reason I have the bridle on and have the halter on over the bridle. So I just didn't want to take more time. She's very light in the connection with the halter, which if you watch her playlist, this is Hermione. It's probably under Hermes playlist. So if you've watched this, if you watch that, you'll see some of the things that we've gone through to get her to this point and how nervous of a horse she actually was. So I want to get on her. Now I believe that if I prepare, then we will be setting ourselves up for success. Where we always have issues with horses is, and in life I believe, is when we do not set ourselves up for success and we cut corners, and then those corners will come out later on, and especially with horses, in not the safest way. So it's very, very important that we take the time to make sure that we've dotted all of our I's and crossed all of our T's. You can see she's outfitted today in pink, and the reason she's, well, it's the farm colors, and I just like to think that it's October. My mom is finishing up her breast cancer treatments now and has great prognosis, and I'm very blessed for that and a lot of prayers, so thank everybody who's been praying. and I would like to support Pink as much as possible. So if you've had a loved one or know somebody who's had to deal with breast cancer, it's no fun, and so it's so nice that we can support all of our loved ones and friends without any issues of enjoying the color pink. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit on her now. One thing I look for when I get on my horse is that she's relaxed when I get on her. We don't want our horses walking off. We can see other videos in that. So I'm just gonna say, how does she feel? She's got that tarp tied to her tail. I don't want it to be anything different. It's just an extension of her body. So I'm just gonna ask her to walk off. So I wanna make sure she feels comfortable as we're doing this. Now this is where the changing of the eye exercise comes in under saddle. So you see that she's catching that tarp off of her left eye right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change directions now. So now she sees it off the right eye. She knows something's back there because she can hear it, but she can't see it until it changes eyes. So she sees it off the right eye, sees it off the left eye. Now I felt a little bit there where she was like, what's that? What's that catching me? So when you have a horse that's really sensitive, we love that sensitivity. We want her to understand that as long as we're with her, we're going to build that confidence and she can feel safe and secure with me on her back. So I have to ask her to stop. I don't want her to be worried about that. So the more that we can get our horses to trust us, and this is a fun exercise once you've built all of the foundation to get to this point, because now it's an exercise where we're just going, I want to make sure that she is comfortable with everything. So if I want to dress up for Halloween and have her in a costume, then I don't have to worry about those things. I want to prepare her. I talk a lot about asking questions, and this is very important. I talk a lot about asking questions that they already know the answer to. What does that mean? If you have little 3-year-old Johnny and you teach him to count to 6 on one hand and the second finger on the other, or the one finger on the second hand, and you say, Johnny, how do you count to 6? And he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you say, Johnny, great job. How do you, what's 3 plus 3? And he goes, I don't know the answer to it. He does know the answer because we've already taught him how to count to 6. So he doesn't, we have to just show him then, count to 3 on this hand, count to 3 on this hand, put them together, what does that equal? So all of that foundation work, and this is so important to get through to everybody who is out there watching, is bridging the gap correctly. Where I see more issues with horses or misunderstood problems with horses and owners is when they've done great groundwork and then they've just gotten in the saddle thinking that it's going to transfer and the horse is going to understand the groundwork to saddle. If you don't bridge the two and connect it, you're just going to have 2 islands separate from each other. This could be a beautiful island, this could be a, well, this might not be a beautiful island if there's not a bridge connecting the two to getting there. Right? So it's very important. If we have an island here, we want to build a bridge to make the second island just as nice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go into just a little trot work with her. Just, I want to make sure, I want this to be a good experience for her, so I'm just going to ask her to pick up the trot. Notice I'm giving her rein. I want her to be able to have the rein that she needs. And then ask her to come back to a walk. So this is a horse that was very, she couldn't do anything without the head up in the air, being a big rearing horse. So having the tarp on her is a very good exercise to show that she's confident, getting more confident in herself, and being more in tune with me. I'm looking for those ears to be back at me. So if I ask her to pick up that trot on this side, so I want to give her her head. It's very important for me because a lot of horses that have started rearing on people, they want to lock that head down, which then makes the problem even worse. Ask her to come back down to a walk and then come to a halt. So if she doesn't come to a halt right away, I'm going to wait with her, and then I want her to take a breath, be able to put her head down. So especially, so she's in a good position right here. I want to just ask her if she can just, there we go. Just start to embrace this. I'm going to turn towards the camera So flex, put leg on. So right there, she feels that behind her. And you can see, this is what I love about when we start to prepare these horses and start to do things, is that we have to get to a point where we can go, okay, I'm going to be there to support you. I'm going to ask her to drop her head. Good girl. So as we go through this process, I don't want to show you like it in a fully finished manner. So I want to show you kind of like what I'll do. Then I'll go back to the ground, I'll do more of this and get back on her and do more of this work. I want her to not even be bothered by any of this stuff. So if you enjoy this and you want to continue to watch Hermie's her journey as well as all the other horses, please make sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell button. It'll notify you, and you will see the next video of Hermione and her progress with this early next week, so in just a few days. So take care, have a great day. Good girl, hi. Hi. Hi.